What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Eternal Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob, and this is our fantasy series, Reckoning, as we are building to our next pay per view, Malice, on June 6th. We're going to recap last week and the events that happened. The Outsiders finally return. The last time we saw Scott Hall and Kevin Nash was the very first episode of Reckoning earlier on this year. They cost the NWO, Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, in their tag team tournament match against the Motor City Machine Guns. And then they laid out the NWO members. Vader cut a promo saying that he is promising to crush Bam Bam Bigelow at the pay-per-view, vowing it's Vader time and he will override the beast from the east. Umaga debuted in a singles match, defeating Nick Jackson. And after the match, he decided to beat the hell out of both of the Young Bucks, just showing that he is still an unstoppable force. The Sandman entered a locker room backstage, and it soon warped into the Firefly Funhouse, where the Fiend appeared, and then left the hardcore icon visibly shaken at the strange sights that he saw. Drew McIntyre had a one-on-one match with Darby Allin, and RVD interfered, trying to distract Darby Allin, as he has a strange fascination with Darby all of a sudden, and this allowed Drew to hit the Claymore and get the win. Swerve Strickland had his first singles match against the legendary Great Hammer Valentine, and he proved that this is his house moving forward. And in the main event, we had Finn Balor demanding a stipulation be made for his title match against world champion Hollywood Hogan. Hogan agreed, but only if Finn can beat a mystery opponent of his choosing. And now, on to this week's episode of Reckoning. We see the arena, pyro shooting off. The crowd, they're on their feet. They're excited for some wrestling action. But then all of a sudden, a shaky camera man, he's running back to the parking lot behind the arena. And we see Bam Bam and Vader slugging it out back and forth, using trash cans and just throwing each other into production crates. Vader, he slams Bam Bam's head off the hood of an SUV. Big dent is left. Bam Bam, he's fighting back. He picks up Vader. He power bombs him onto a stack of wooden crates that they just shatter everywhere. And then as security, they're rushing in to stop these two big behemoths of men. Bam Bam, he grabs another trash can and he just smashes it over Vader's skull. And this whole fight ends as Bam Bam, he's standing on top of a car. He's yelling and he's screaming at Vader. Vader, he's busted open. He's bleeding. He doesn't have his mask on or anything. And just officials just swarm them in, trying to separate them before any more chaos and carnage can happen. On to segment 2, tag team tournament match. The Motor City Machine Guns are taking on Jurassic Express. So Jungle Boy, Alex Shelley, they're starting off this match, They're trading counters really early on, very technical counter wrestling. And then eventually Luchasaurus enters the ring, cleaning house. And he almost secures the win after a choke slam. But then towards the finish of the match, Sabin, he blind tags in as Jungle Boy goes for springboard. And the Motor City Machine Guns, they catch him midair for a skull and bones. Sabin then launches himself at Luchasaurus while Shelley gets the pin on Jungle Boy. The ref counts 1, 2, 3. The Motor City Machine Guns advance in the tournament. Thus, they will be taking on the winners of Seth Rollins and Penta against whoever wins in the match against, this week, the Kings of the Black Throne and the Acclaimed. So then, the camera pans to the crowd in segment 3, and out comes the Sandman. Of course, he's got his kendo stick, but he's got a mic too. The crowd, they're all excited. He grabs a beer from a fan. He drinks it real quick. He goes on to tell and address Bray Wyatt that he's tired of the charades. Next week, meet me in the ring, as I aim to show you the meaning of extreme like only I can. The Tron, it flashes. The Firefly Funhouse. There's Bray Wyatt. And he waves, saying hello to Sandman. It's a shame things have to come to this, he says. I was only trying to make friends. But sometimes even your friends need a life lesson. And he puts his glove, hand that says hurt, across his face. And he leans really close to the camera, and he gets very serious here. Let me in. We have a commercial break, and back on to segment 4. You see Kevin Nash and Braun Strowman, 2 big men. Big meat slapping meat as this match is underway. So, Kevin Nash, he's targeting the knees of Braun Strowman, and he's really just trying to wear down this other tree trunk of a man until eventually Kevin Nash is caught and is hit with a big running power slam. But before even the ref can count or try to attempt a pinfall count, Bronson Reed, he comes in and he crushes Nash with a big senton. And as they're preparing to beat down on Kevin Nash and try to send him back onto the shelf, out comes Scott Hall. He slides in. He's got a chair. He's swinging it wildly. He smacks Braun Strowman with it. And the NWO, they retreat out of the ring as the outsiders regroup. On to segment 5 here. Johnny Gargano comes out, and he's had this weird attitude about him about the past couple of weeks, as he's decided to leave DIY with Tommaso Ciampa and just become more violent and unhinged. So he starts cutting a promo on Damian Priest, and he says, Damian, you talk about live forever, but your title reign, it's already dead air. You're too busy living in that VIP lounge to defend that belt. So how about next week, you and me? Segment 6, we're backstage and we see Swerve Strickland. He's talking to Estrada, the manager of Umaga. But we can't hear what they're saying to each other, but they're conversing. All of a sudden, the Young Bucks, they enter into the frame, and Swerve, he kind of glares at the Bucks, and then he leaves. And, they get up in Estrada's face, demanding to know why Umaga's sniffing around the tag team division. What is his problem? Estrada, he just lights a cigar, smiles, and he walks away. The Young Bucks are left feeling a little paranoid and feeling like they may need to watch their backs going forward. On to segment 7. We see Moxley. He's walking down a hallway and he encounters Seth Rollins. The two kind of stare at each other for a moment, and he tells Seth that, I don't think you've changed a bit. I may have forgave you, but I never forget. He then shoulder checks Seth, and Seth kind of bounces up against the wall and then lets out his maniacal laugh. And Moxley keeps trucking down the hallway. On to segment 8, another tag team tournament match here. The Acclaimed versus the Kings of the Black Throne. Max Caster, he comes out, he's delivering a rap, talking about the Kings of the Black Throne and how they're just some emo kids playing dress up, trying to be wrestlers, getting in all the shots that he can until the Kings of the Black Throne come out. This is when the mood changes. Lights go dark. Out comes Aleister Black and Brody King. They've got those ceremonial skull masks on with the horns. The fog is filling into the arena as they enter. And then the bell rings and this action is underway. Bowens, he starts the match. He's really trying to show a lot of heart here, a lot of aggression, trying to get the upper hand on Brody King. But Brody is just a force of nature. and he soon is overpowered by the big man. And then as we get closer to the finish of the match, Max Caster, he tries to use the boombox move, but the lights start to flicker a little bit. And when they come back on, Alistair, he misses Caster in the eyes. Brody's able to hit the Gonzo bomb on Bowens. Goes for the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. And a dominant victory for the Kings of the Black Throne. And the House of Darkness, as the Undertaker would be very happy with this victory and seeing 2 of his generals continue on. On to segment 9, we have another single match here. Macho Man, Randy Savage, taking on Jon Moxley. So this match is chaos here. Adam Copeland, him and Macho have been teaming, trying to take the NWO, but that's not been working too great. But Copeland, he comes out with Macho to just be supportive. So the match is chaos, and Moxley is all over Macho Man on the early goings, being very much savage. DDTs to Macho, just beating down on Macho until he's able to finally get the upper hand. He goes up to the top rope, hits a big flying elbow, covers Moxley. 1, 2, a big strong kick out from Moxley still here. Plenty of gas left in the tank. Copeland, he's ringside. He's shouting at, Macho Man, trying to give him some help, some instruction here to switch up his tactics on Moxley. But as he's distracted and he's yelling at Copeland, I'll do it my way, yeah. This distraction allows Moxley to recover. He kicks Savage in the gut and nails him with a paradigm shift. Gets the cover and the win here. After the bell rings and Moxley leaves, Savage, he ignores Copeland's hand as Copeland's trying to help him up. And he just walks out alone, fuming at this loss. On to segment 10. Rob Van Dam, one of a kind. He comes out, and his opponent, the Bastard, PAC. This is a long-haired PAC. Him and Moxley are not involved with each other in this series. They are not part of the Death Riders. That does not exist. So the bell rings, and these 2 men going at it. RVD, he's trying to get the upper hand here, but with PAC being more muscular, he's able to use some more power maneuvers and technicality to wear down on RVD. And this is really hindrance for RVD throughout most of this match until finally RVD, he's able to put down PAC, and he goes for the top for that 5-star frog splash. So he's standing on the top rope. RVD, Rob Van Dam, the crowd's chanting. And then all of a sudden, Darby Allin hops the barricade, and he points his skateboard towards RVD. And this distraction is enough for PAC to capitalize, and he hits RVD with a big avalanche Falcon arrow. Goes for the cover and gets a pinfall win. After this, Darby grabs a table from out of the ring, slides it in, sets it up, and he's just beating down on RVD, and he throws him on the table. Darby climbs to the top rope and hits a coffin drop, smashing RVD through the table. And he's yelling at RVD, "Rob, you keep telling me I'm a daredevil? Hell yeah, I am. My respect for you is fading. Ever since you lost to Kingston, you've been acting like a little bitch. And I think it's time to put you down." He grabs a skateboard and he leaves the ring. On to segment 11, our main event. And we will see who is facing Finn Balor. The Prince, Finn Balor, our number 1 contender for the world title. He comes out. And then Slow Chemicals starts playing. The flames erupt for boom. It's Kane. 90s Kane here. Full body suit, the red and the black. He comes out. Can Finn Balor beat this huge monster of a man? Can he defeat the Red Machine and choose his stipulation for the world title match at Malice? The bell rings. The match is underway. Finn, he is just not having a good night. He is just fighting from underneath the entire time here. Clotheslines, body slams from Kane. Kane just getting him in the corner, stomping him down, hitting the snake eyes onto him. Until eventually, this match starts spilling onto the outside. And this is where things start taking a little bit of a turn. Kane, he dominates here still. Hits a big sidewalk slam to the outside on Finn Balor. And he takes a moment to kind of revel in what he's done. But he shouldn't have taken this little break, as Finn, he's starting to use his speed as much as he can, beating back on Kane, throwing him into the barricades as best he can. Eventually he hits a sling blade onto Kane, smacking onto that metal steel grated entrance ramp. And all this fighting, the ref's counting, he's up to 6, 7. Finn's still trying to beat him down, keep him down. 8, 9. Finn runs, he slides in. 10. Ding, 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 ding. And your winner by countout, Finn Balor. Kane, he's pissed at this. He grabs the ring steps, he throws him into the barricade, and he just turns around and leaves. He doesn't work for Hogan, he was just chosen by Hogan. But Finn, he has sustained a lot of punishment here from the Big Red Machine. So out comes Hogan on the entrance ramp with a mic. And he says that, well, brother, you won the match, but barely. So what do you want to do at Malice? And Finn says, Hogan, at the pay-per-view, I'm sending your old ass away in an ambulance. That's it. An ambulance match is made for the world title at Malice, June 6th. Next week, the Vanguard title will be on the line as Damian defends against Johnny Gargano. Darby Allin versus RVD. Falls Count Anywhere match. And the tag team tournament matches continue as Seth and Penta will take on the Kings of the Black Throne. So the winners of Seth, Rollins, and Penta and Kings of the Black Throne, that match, they will take on Motor City Machine Guns at the pay-per-view. June 6th, our pay-per-view. Malice. Every single match on the pay-per-view will have a special stipulation. So some of our matches that we have announced so far, we have the world title match, Finn Balor, Hogan, an ambulance match, a last man standing match, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Vader. To hopefully close out their rivalry, we will see. Maybe they'll destroy the entire arena. I hope you guys are enjoying this fantasy booking series, and that is going to be it for this week's episode. As always, I'm your host, Jacob, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.